Why do I have to be the fucking dog?
Lee, we've been over this many, many times. I've got the blue jumpsuit.
You stole it from a fucking garage.
Shut up, dog meat. Dog meat. Are there any bad guys out there?
Yeah, it was clear.
I thought you said it was clear.
I said it looks clear.
How about now?
Yeah, it looks clear.
Right, dog meat. Can you hold on to that for a sec? Cheers. Yeah. Can you? I need some protein. Ooh. Can you just take that? Because that'll come in handy. Yeah, and I've got some bread I found earlier. Everyone needs bread. No, just take that anyway. No, just take that. Come on, take it. Just hold on to that for a sec as well. Okay, just go. Just go.
Uh-oh.
You are useless. Just wait a minute and then go and find me something useful.
Dropped it. Snare! I found something!
Really? It better be bloody useful, Lee. Holy crap!
Hey guys, welcome to another O-Byte review, and today we are doing the grand Fallout 4.
Fallout 4.
Which is the fourth Fallout game.
Is it?
No, it's not. I'm lying, actually.
Well, if you've been following our videos recently, you'll have known that Lee has recently done a Brotherhood of Steel
Yes.
video.
Yeah, let's play.
So check it out. If we can remember, I'll put a link to it in, I don't know, between our heads, because that's where it should fit. No, it's not actually there, Lee.
No.
But yeah, it's called Fallout 4, but technically not, but it is.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's following on the heels of New Vegas, which didn't have a number.
Yeah, that's kind of strange.
I think it might be because it wasn't done by Bethesda. It was found out. I think it was Black Owl or someone. It was the guys that I think were like offshoots from Baldur's Gate.
Well, if that's wrong, we'll put a big fail mark over your face or something. I'm giving myself lots of editing work to do here.
You are. I shall keep up in the spirit, I think.
But yes, Fallout 4 did come out a little while ago, but for us to give you a decent review of our experiences with it, it's not a game you can touch lightly and then go, it's 7 out of 10. You know, you've got to give it a long time.
You can't, certainly a game you can't touch lightly. You've got to go right in for the grope.
You always have to bring it back to sexual innuendo, don't you?
Oh, absolutely.
So this game is involved, I would say, so far I've sunk about 30 to 40 hours into it.
Yeah, I've probably done about 20, I would say. And
it feels to me like I've hardly scratched the surface. I mean, there's lots to do, there's lots to get used to. The game itself, it's a slow builder. It's like a slow burn, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is. I may ruin the review here, but I don't actually like it very much.
Cut to the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of what everyone wanted, and kudos to them for actually getting out so quickly, because if we remember, we only heard about this game actually coming out this year.
Yeah.
In what, August, September time, even maybe a bit before that?
Yeah, it wasn't too far away from the release date when they announced it.
Which is kind of what you want games companies to do. Don't tell us like years in advance and then get all the hype.
And then cancel it.
Yeah. I mean, things like Watch Dogs, there was a lot of kind of year-long anticipation for this awesome new kind of franchise that was coming out.
Well, he had anticipation. I was more like, it's Ubisoft, they're going to fuck it up.
And they did.
They did.
But it was the hype and the anticipation was there for ages, and I think that probably ruined some of the experience. With Fallout 4, I mean, Fallout 3 people still play now. New Vegas people still play now.
As so they should.
Exactly. But the game itself, the new version, it's more of the same. That's kind of my ending view. It's it fulfills the Fallout need in you to continue playing a story in the Fallout universe.
Yeah, there are a lot of things. I know New Vegas was done by a different studio, but it does feel like a continuation from Fallout 3, and all the advances they made in New Vegas aren't there. This is a story I always tell to show my point. It's in Fallout New Vegas, you start off getting shot by the head, and this mysterious poker chip is stolen from you. And during the course of the game, I seduced the guy that I was playing a woman, so it's okay. I seduced the guy that shot me in the head, slept with him. He went out in the morning. I robbed his apartment blind, and then got my mates the Legion to crucify him. But I could have dealt with him like any number of ways. I could have shot him. It's that sort of openness that I feel Fallout 4 has lost.
Freedom, yeah. I haven't played New Vegas. You've actually bought me a copy or given me a copy to actually compare, which I haven't got around to doing because I spent so much time playing Fallout 4. But for me, the story is kind of classic Fallout story. It's a story of loss. It's a story of being an outsider. It's a story about wandering around and shooting people in the head.
Very badly animated.
Yeah, the graphics and animation is what you'd expect from Fallout 3.5.
Yeah, definitely.
Best way to call it.
The animation is terrible. The lip syncing is terrible. The animations themselves, they just stand there and sort of they go, they're kind of like this.
Yeah, and a lot of people are. There's a good argument people have been talking about since it's been released, and that is the game is full of glitches and bugs and problems with animation and problems with
stuff. Which may be
stuff.
due to the short turnaround time.
Could be, but for some reason people don't shout at Bethesda for it because that's what they do. I mean, Skyrim had loads of problems. Fallout 3 had loads of problems.
Yes.
Oblivion had loads of problems.
Yes.
You know, all of their games seem to have a fucking problem when they launch. And they're always buggy for ages, and it's felt like that again. But you and I both had no real issues.
No.
Glitches or bugs.
I had the appearing companion when you get in an elevator sort of thing.
Yeah, I've had that.
That's about the only one, though. I haven't had, like, Nick swimming around the place or anything like that.
Yeah. So it's kind of, you can catch loads of the video on YouTube of people seeing people swimming in thin air or
just getting blown up into the heavens when they try and pick something up that's vibrating.
Yeah, stuff like that. But I've not seen anything strange happen that way. But the graphics and then one thing I did notice in the some of the conversations, the tone of the conversation didn't match the flow. So despite the simple nature of the conversation where you can't actually tell what you're going to say because it's not really descriptive enough.
It's a bit Mass Effect-y.
Yeah, you got your 4 options type thing and then you can choose one and you think you're being an asshole or you think you're being nice and you end up just saying something non-sequential anyway.
Yeah, what I did notice about the conversations as well is you can really tell that they've recorded one line of dialogue as a response and it's like covering 2 or 3 options because of the way he's responding to you.
But they can be really angry in one line, then you say something else and they'll be totally normal again. It didn't feel that kind of that continuity was lost.
Yeah.
And it didn't really feel like... It didn't feel... You weren't immersed, is what I'm trying to say. You kind of got taken out of the moment. And one of the things in Fallout, they got a lot of dialogue.
There is a lot of dialogue, yeah.
And I think we agree that it's kind of acted okay.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have like the standard 6 people doing all of the voices anymore. They do have a wider cast for it, which is good.
It's good, but it's a bit of a shame because it's a bit nostalgic to have things as they were. The characters themselves, they do vary. You've got some that are quite deep and you can see a bit of character in them, and others just seem quite, superlative and you could forget them very easy.
Yeah, dragging it back to the graphics just for a second, it reminded me a lot of Rage, if you ever played that.
No, I didn't play Rage.
It was the new game from ID back in the day, or id. It was basically mega textures, so basically the entire level was one texture, all of the topography. And from a distance it looked great, but if you got up close to it, it looked fucking awful. And
Monet.
As
in the painter Monet. Looks good from a distance.
Mazur?
Don't question me on what his other names are. I just know it as Monet.
No, she's an actress. Anyway,
It's probably Frank.
Frank Monet.
Yeah. Dave Monet. Dave Monet.
I'll make my point. Is where you just go take the piss out of me for the rest of the day.
That sounds promising. Sorry, Nick. No, please, carry on.
So I've lost my train of thought now, you bastard. So when you get up close, the textures look horrible, and in Fallout 4 it's much the same thing. It's when you take it as an overall vista, it looks okay.
That looks good. That looks more than okay.
But when you actually get up close to stuff, it starts to fall apart a bit. And what I think Bethesda is hoping is the modders are going to actually fix the game for them and make it look better and fix some of the things that they haven't done, like the lighting on the Pip-Boy for the roads on the map is really dark. Stuff like that. There's already a mod out for that, and that's going to continue to happen. So they can just sit back and say, well, we gave you the base game, you can actually make it a decent one yourselves.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit sneaky to do that if that is what they've tried. Modders do want to have something to mod. I mean,
definitely.
You don't want a game that's almost perfect to start modding. I think you want to kind of do your own thing with it, so it's kind of bring it as a base level. So, yeah, I mean, for a consumer that's buying a game to play, it does feel like it's left for the modders, but the modders might actually appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, it was very much the case in Skyrim. Skyrim got like really, really heavily modded, and some of the graphical mods were just insanely gorgeous and taxed out like high NPCs. So they could do that again. So I'm sure the modders are out there working on stuff like that now. But the thing is, it's like, why should we have to make the game look better if Bethesda can't be arsed to?
That's a very good point. I would like to talk about the actual game environment itself and how you're actually playing the game. Okay. So the environments are really, really beautiful, and there's certain elements of music that pop up here and there that really do kind of grab your attention, especially if you're playing with headphones. You can quite easily kind of note where things are coming from, which is really important when you're getting shot, because there's no real kind of radar or anything to know where people are coming from. I think you might get a kind of a splodge of red on the sides of the screen.
Yeah, you also get the red dots on your the compass thing.
Ah, okay. So you do get radar. I haven't noticed that.
Yes, you do.
So that's probably why I'm getting shot quite a lot. But the immersion of actually the environment is good, and although some of the textures do look a bit crap in places, you end up kind of forgiving that. And I'm one of those victims of Bethesda kind of appreciation. I appreciate the size of the game, I appreciate what they've put into it and how much you can do, and I enjoy playing it. The part I don't enjoy playing with is the fucking inventory screens. Because this game you will spend probably about 60% of your time in the inventory screens.
Yeah, well, I haven't spent that long in the inventory screens myself, but yeah, they are definitely cumbersome.
Yeah, cumbersome is a good word to use, because when you become over encumbered, that's a real bitch. Previously in Fallout 3, you could go around, pick up lots of junk to maybe sell for a couple of caps, but in this game you want the junk to actually kind of break down into stuff that you can use to build things in your settlement or your place that you want to build some houses and stuff, which is a new thing that they brought into Fallout 4.
Badly.
For Lee. I mean, I did see a review from Zero Punctuation, who brought up a very good point about the fact this is a big exploratory game and they're making you build a house in one corner of the map, potentially. Which is a good point, because why would you do that? You know, even in Fallout 3, you could go and get yourself a shack in Megaton, or
yeah, and have it sort of, you can interior decorate it by buying stuff,
buying kits and stuff.
I always had the sleazy love nest.
Of course you did, Lee. This version of Fallout makes you actually have to build up kind of defences, power, water, get people doing some gardening. It can produce some resources, which is kind of handy, but at the same time, there's too much to do in that respect. You are doing your exploring and questing, and you have your home building to do.
Yeah, and even worse is it's not just the one settlement. As you sort of rescue settlements, you then get to build those as well. So you've spent all this time and resource building up this one settlement, and then all of a sudden you've got 4 more, and you're like, oh god, again?
If you're dumping your junk into that sounds really bad. If you're putting your stuff that you collected into a particular container, which I found I've put all my stuff into a toolbox, you know, which doesn't make sense. I've got like absolutely shit tons of everything in this toolbox that's about that big.
Dumping your junk into a box, I got you.
Yeah. The point I'm trying to make is that doesn't kind of get shared around the settlements, which does make sense, but it's really annoying. So if you go back to a particular settlement, you will find yourself trying to dig around for stuff and go, oh, it's in the other one. Is it in the other one? I can't check. I've got to go all the way there, fast travel, check that. Oh, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, and it also doesn't... I mean, you do get power armor straight out the gate this time, and it will show you where you've left it because it runs on power cores, and as soon as you put it on, it starts running down. So you need to leave it places. And usually you can get back to a settlement and leave it there, and it does show you on the map where you've left it. It doesn't show you where your fucking companions are left, though.
No, which is a very good point. If you enjoyed the skit earlier we did with Dogmeat, that's pretty much how we feel about Dogmeat. He's fucking useless.
He just gets in the way and runs over mines a lot.
Yeah, there is a perk that you can get him to grab onto enemies, and you can shoot them with VATS a bit easier. Which, if you're not familiar with, VATS is the targeting system that you can use to shoot people in the head quite easily.
Yeah, it sort of slow-mos the game, which is a bit different because it always used to pause the game. Now it just goes into slow-mo and you get like percentile hit chances on head, crotch, eyes,
which change quite a lot as if you're not quick enough. If they come around a corner,
you're
like, oh, I won't bother hitting him in the left arm because I can't see it. Oh, I can see 20, 30, oh, right, I can hit him 100% now, right, cool. But I've used it quite a lot, you haven't.
No, I've actually found the iron sight and off the hip gameplay is much improved this time around. That is something I will say positive about Fallout 4 over the previous games. It's a lot more viable not to use VATS.
I like VATS though. It's a bit more kind of strategic, and you can pick your targets. It works for me.
Everybody else just aims. So
yeah, but I can't. The companions themselves, though, going back to that, you can fill them up with junk. Put lots of your things that you've collected in them. You can put your junk in them.
Essentially.
This is a really hard review to talk about without saying the word junk. Anyway, you can put stuff, make them carry it, and then they get over encumbered as well, but they can't slow down, so that's crazy. And it gets really annoying when you're full up of stuff, they're full up of stuff, and you've got to start dropping things. But there is some permanence. If you drop stuff, you can come back.
So you've filled them up with your junk, and now they're full of stuff.
Lee, why must you just twist everything?
I'm not twisting nothing. These were your words, my friend.
No, you're paraphrasing me. God damn it. Over encumbrance is very much a problem in any Bethesda game, whether it be Skyrim, Oblivion, any of the Fallout games that they've done. It's just annoying.
Yeah, it was particularly annoying in Skyrim because if you were over encumbered, you couldn't fast travel using the carts. So the fact that you had like 3 pounds too much meant you were too heavy for the horse.
Yep. It's very, very annoying. The companions themselves, like Lee mentioned, they do disappear quite often. They will anger mobs and enemies if you're too close. They'll get shot, die, limp around, and you just have to wait for them to get better or shove a stim pack in them. Unless you've got the robot guy, which I can't remember his name, Mr. Handy. Codsworth.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a handyman robot, isn't he? Handy bot or something like that.
Something. Mr. Handy.
Mr. Handy. So he will not need a stim pack, just give him some time and he'll come back online anyway. But they all come back. They're just annoying. Companions are just mules. They're nothing really. They'll say things and kind of react to your surroundings, but at the end of the day, they are just mules. And you'll use them to come back, take all their stuff, walk slowly to your toolbox, empty your junk into it. Go on, no, okay. But they will just be mules for you. They do get in the way of everything, so if you're trying to take a shot, you'll see a slow-mo dog meat just jumping in front of your gun strike. You'll shoot dog meat, he'll go down and go, ooh, and then you're screwed because you've used up your action points.
Junk.
But it's not much different to Fallout 3. If you play Fallout 3, the combat, VATS-wise, a little bit different, but much the same, so you're not going to really see anything new there.
Yeah, you don't have the luxury of being able to like pause the game and pick and choose targets like you did previously. It's now still going, so if that ghoul's about to smack you, he's going to smack you even if you're in VATS.
Mm-hmm. I've died once like that.
I bet you've died many times from being stupid.
Thanks, Lee.
The quests in Fallout 4 they're almost like MMO quests. It doesn't feel as interconnected anymore. It's always go here and clear out this settlement, or go here and get me this and bring it back, and I'll give you 20 caps and a smile and a pat on the back.
Yeah, and it's the classic problem of, I've just met you, please fix my life.
Yeah.
That's essentially the quest you get. You'll go to a settlement. Oh, I've been struggling with my farm for 5 years. You look like a nice guy. Can you come and just kill out all these things that are crawling around and eating my crops, and then I'll be your best friend?
Yeah, there's a quest line with the Brotherhood of Steel, and you do like 2 quests for them. And they're like, come up to our airship and meet our leader, because you're the chosen one now. He's like, I've done like 2 things.
By the way, quick tip: if you want better power armor, do those missions.
Yeah.
Because you do get a better, and you get loads of power cores. So, just knocking it out there.
Knocking it. Good grief.
One thing we need to talk about is upgrades and perks.
Yes.
So in this Fallout, you basically have a much more sophisticated perk system than you had previously. So the special SP blah, 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 of your particular skills you can level up, which you could do in Fallout 3.
Yeah, there's not really perks per se. It's all sort of put in the same tree now.
Yeah, but you need points in the base skill to unlock the ones down below.
So you've got special across the top, and then you've got like up to 10 levels, and then you can put 10 points in special on each one that unlocks a level under it.
And you just spend an additional perk point to unlock that perk.
Yeah, and then the perks have levels in and of themselves, so you can apply more than 1 point to the perk and make it better.
Yeah. So the perks are good. They are very varied, and they allow you to do lots of different things, ranging from companions to rifle shooting to off the hip shooting.
Bloody Mess is back.
Yay! You can do lots of different things and extras to have fun with. So it does involve you doing a lot more thinking about what kind of style of play you want to do. Are you a stealthy sneak around? Are you a gung-ho run in and shoot? There's lots to think about.
Yeah, I like the expansion of the perk system. What I don't like is the navigation of the perk screen, which is slow as shit. It's kind of like when you were doing the planetary mining on Mass Effect 2. It's that sort of thing.
Yeah, there's my personal peeve with this game is the inventory screens in general. They just don't seem to be very user-friendly. You spend far too much time in them, so they haven't really balanced that out. If you're going to spend a lot of time in inventory screens, make it usable. You haven't, so you quite often just want to throw stuff in. You can't tell what you've just kind of got into your inventory very easily, and managing it is just a nightmare. You can't deal with junk at the same time very quickly. You can do in certain workstations. You can dump the junk that you've collected. Stop it. You can dump it quite quickly. But on the whole, it's a real mess. And hopefully if modders can fix that, I will be very thankful.
I think that kind of sums up the game for me. It's a bit of a mess. If you want a great Fallout experience, buy Fallout New Vegas. For me, Fallout 4 is a step back from that game in everything but tech, and most of that's broken. So if you want a great Fallout game, go for Fallout New Vegas, because that is easily the best one. And if you want a new one, that's fine, go ahead, but be aware it's like a continuation of 3 and not New Vegas. It's lost a lot going forward.
For me, the story isn't a continuation as such. I mean, I think it's set after the events of the last one.
Yeah, it's a completely
kind of
different vault.
You kind of spin it forward because you've been in a vault cryogenically frozen for a long time. But it doesn't feel like a continuation. It feels a continuation of gameplay as such. So if you play Fallout 3, you'll be very familiar with Fallout 4. I think personally you'll enjoy it, but if you enjoy Fallout 3 with all its kind of irksome aspects, you will like Fallout 4. And I think it's had a fairly good reception. Maybe a bit misguided in the sense that we are forgiving Bethesda too much. But because if other companies did it like Ubisoft and EA, we'd be down their throats. Bethesda seems to get away with it.
One thing they did do very nicely was the actual sort of prologue to the game, where it's actually set before the war and you're there with your spouse and your kid.
Yes, you actually got to see pre-apocalypse.
Yeah, you actually see the apocalypse basically happen. So that was a really nice touch, and I'm pleased they included it. But it's kind of starts going downhill from that point for me.
What I would have liked to have seen was maybe with the game that they produced mobile, the Fallout Shelter, which was a really good game. A lot of people enjoyed it.
Yeah, it topped off really quickly though.
Yeah, God, you've always got to say something negative, but it's a really good game. And I would have liked to have seen maybe some of the better levels people would have designed or something to be put into the game as a prize, maybe. It
might have been nice instead of settlement building to have vault building. That might have been where you just had prefabricated rooms instead of trying to fit together 2 walls that don't want to fucking match.
Exactly. Maybe that's something they could bring in next time, a bit more kind of synergy.
As long as you don't have a deathclaw attack every 25 minutes, that'd be great.
Yeah. I had so many people in my vault there, it was fine. Personally, I would recommend the game to somebody that's a Fallout fan, but then again, most Fallout fans would have already bought the damn thing by now. So if you're interested and you're kind of on the fence, take a dive, maybe wait for it to come down in price a little bit. I'm sure there'll be a Game of the Year edition with any potential DLC in the future.
Yeah, there will be DLC, there always is.
Yeah, always is. I personally would give it about probably a 7 out of 10 because it hasn't really grabbed me as much to keep me away from other games, but it's enamoured me enough to play for 30-40 hours. So
yeah, I'm less forgiving, as you may have guessed. I would give it a 6 out of 10. Purely because on Fallout 3 and New Vegas, I would sit there for the entire day and play it. With this, I sit there for a couple of hours. I'm like, I want to play something else now. So purely because it just doesn't grab me as much as the other games.
yeah, so that's our review of Fallout 4. Unless there's anything more you'd like to add.
Dumb.
See what I have to work with here, guys. Jesus Christ. Not Jesus Christ.
I was going to say, you can call me Lee, but that's fine.
But yeah, that's our review of Fallout 4. Hope you've enjoyed it, and hopefully that's helped you make a decision on the game purchase for you. So don't forget to words. Don't forget to leave us a comment down below. Let us know what you think and what you'd like to see from us in the future. Drop us a like and subscribe and all the nice things down there.
And if you want to see something that we've not done yet, let us know and we'll try and make it happen for you.
Yeah, we always try. We like to please our audience.
We're very trying.
Yes. So guys, we'll catch you next time.
Take it easy, guys.
I'll get that straight out as a good point. We played it together the other day.
It was more fun.
Yeah,
I would say.
If I can get hold of the footage, which I have saved somewhere, of Lee hiding on top of a massive ship in one of the games we played as Boba Fett, and play it through a controller, please, because then you'll actually be able to do stuff. And it's something that I had to find out the hard way. And talking of the consoles, I was going to play this on the PS4, and it got pushed back